Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BenchWire. We are here with our season preview for the 2025 NFL season. What we're going to be doing today is breaking down the NFC standings on what we think will happen and will go down, along with the AFC, and then our playoff seedings. And then at the end of the video, we'll tell you who's going to be our Super Bowl matchup and the winner. So I'm joined by Justin. How we doing, man?
Doing well, man. Can't complain. We took a long hiatus, but it was much needed, and now we're coming in fresh and hot, and we're ready to roll this season.
Yeah, I'm excited. So let's just get straight into it. We'll start out with our NFC predictions. We're going from the South, West, East, and North for
hmm
each division. So I guess I'll start out first with my South predictions. This is going to be
You got it.
pretty easy to do here. So NFC South, fourth place. All right, and we're also doing this. We're going to do fourth to first place for each division here. So
Yeah,
NFC
bottom up.
South, bottom up. I have the Saints finishing in last place. I think they're going to be the worst team in the league this year. Who's starting? Rattler? I
It's
think
Rattler.
Rattler's starting
hmm
off the season, and then eventually Tyler Shuck and company. They'll figure it out. It's going to be a quarterback carousel. But yeah, not big believers in the Saints. Then I have the Panthers at 3. Bryce Young, he looked hot as of late last year, but with this year and the injuries already to the receiver room, I don't have really big expectations for the Panthers this year, so I have them in third. Second, I have the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Penix is going to be the first full year as a starter, so excited to see that. And then number one, the best team in the division by far, according to me, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have the most, continuity there at the roster. They have Baker, Mike Evans, they're bringing on Ibuka. The offense is going to be loaded, and then you got the
hmm
Todd Bowles defense. That's probably the best team by far, top to bottom. So that is my NFC South predictions.
Yeah. So for mine, we have the same number 4. It's the Saints. I agree that they're going to probably be the worst team in football. You still got Kamara, but you got a rookie head coach in Kellen Moore, and you got, like you said, a quarterback carousel going on there. Just a lot of unknowns. So they're number 4. Um, Here's I got number 3. I got the Falcons. I am a little bit higher on the Panthers. I feel like with the Falcons, I'm just a little bit unsure of their defense. I think Michael Penix is going to be pretty good, as well as Bijan and Drake London. I think they'll be all fine. I'm just a little bit worried about the defense there. But the Panthers, I got them number 2. I like how they came on strong towards the end of the year. I feel like they got something to build off with Bryce Young. I like their first round pick. And Teteroa McMillan, I think he'll be pretty good for them, a solid receiver. And just with them trading Adam Thielen, I think they feel confident there too. So I got the Panthers at 2, and then the obvious number 1 is the Bucks for the reasons you said. They got Hassan Reddick now on the defensive side. That should help their pass rush. So I'm very high in the Buccaneers. They're my first place team.
Yeah. I'll let you do your NFC West, and then
West,
we'll
okay.
shoot over to me.
All
Just
right.
so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So carrying over to the NFC West, I got the Cardinals in 4. Just a little, I'm unsure of them. Will Kyler Murray bounce back a little bit? Not that he had a bad year. Maybe it was statistically one of his worst seasons, but I think he could bounce back. I'm just a little bit unsure of the defense and will Marvin Harrison Jr. They want to get him the ball more involved there. Just a little bit more uncertainty there. 3, you got the Seahawks. Sam Darnold's coming in. That'll be exciting with the hometown kid, Cooper Kupp. JSN was on the rise. He was tearing up towards the end of the year. So, and they got a good young defense. Mike McDonald's in his second year. I think they'll be a good team, but they're just not better than the top 2. Number 2, I got the Niners. I think they'll be a viable team. Maybe they'll sneak in my standing. Stay tuned for that. But I think McCaffrey will be healthy and stand strong there. I like George Kittle a lot this year. I think he's gonna be solid there. They're dealing with the Ayuk injury, but he'll come back at some point. But Ricky Pearsall, we'll see if they utilize him. And I feel like Robert Saleh's now there, so maybe the defense gets a little bit more improved there, and they got a little bit easier schedule. So I think number 2 is fair. And number 1, I got the Rams. The Rams are a little bit shaky to me. It's all Stafford's back. If Stafford could stay healthy, I think they can win the number 1 seed there. pretty easily in the West. They brought Devontae Adams in. I love that move. You got Puka still there. You got Kyron. It's so well-rounded team, and you got a young defense there too that played well, and they're gonna just continue to grow and play well over there. So I got the Rams #1, and that's really contingent on Matt Stafford's health.
Yeah. I pretty much agree with you. I think, yeah, they're the same 4-1 for me. So yeah, Cardinals at 4. I think they're the worst team in the division by far. They didn't really do many improvements, other than one of the key guys they signed, Josh Sweat. That's one of the guys I remember that they signed. So, Kyler Murray, another year off the torn ACL. So hopefully, they can muster out some wins there. But we'll see. Seahawks. I like the move of Sam Darnold bringing in Cooper Kupp. That offense should be explosive. The only thing about the Seahawks is the offensive line, kind of worrisome for me. Number 2, I have the Niners. I think, Kyle Shanahan having Christian McCaffrey back in a full, season, and I think that should help out the offense. And then guys like Ricky Pearsall, I think he'll be a stud. And then Ayuk will eventually come back. So, they have, some pieces there. And don't forget about George Kittle, best tight end in the league. And then Rams, I think they are going to be the favorites for the NFC West. They got a young stud defensive line along with, the offensive weapons that they added. Devontae Adams, I think he'll be, playing a key role in this offense along with Puka. And they also have Kyron as well. So I like Sean McVay. I think he's one of the best coaches in this league. And they were, a drive away from being the Eagles and potentially, going on to the Super Bowl as well. So, I like the Rams. I have them as my favorite to win the division. So next up, we got the NFC East, our favorite division. I guess I'll start here.
Go for it.
So, last place I've been contemplating, been going back and forth. But with the moves that the Cowboys just made and losing Micah Parsons, I have them finishing in 4th place this year. I'm not a big believer in Brian Schottenheimer. They do have Dak back, CeeDee Lamb, but the run game, not something special. So, and then the defensive side of the ball, like they still have Trayvon Diggs, they just signed Deron Bland, but to me, their defense doesn't really scare me. So that's the reason why I have them in 4th. Giants at 3. I had the Giants at 3. I know the schedule's tough, but with our defensive line alone, I think we'll be, a top 10 defense in this league because of that. Their secondary worries me a little bit. And I like the additions that they had on offense, So overall, I think the Giants, the thing for them is going to be the schedule. But I like, adding Russ, adding a veteran to the quarterback room. Jackson Dart, I think, will play. It's just a matter of when. Just staying healthy in that offensive line, protecting the quarterback for the Giants. Commanders, I have them at 2. Just because Jaden Daniels is the man. Jaden Daniels is the guy. And they also, their schedule's going to be a little tougher as well, just the whole NFC East. But I think the Commanders, what we saw from Jaden Daniels last year and what he's been able to prove and win those games, I think Commanders at 2 will be the best pick. Then Eagles, they have the best team in the NFC East coming off a Super Bowl berth. They have the best roster. They have the best defense. Pretty much bring everyone back except Kellen Moore on the offensive side of the ball. And they did lose some key additions, but they brought people from free agency and replenished them through the draft as well. So that's why I have the Eagles at 1, and that is my NFC East predictions.
Yeah, I think we were talking off camera. Like we could switch 3 and 4, or we could switch 1 and 2. But with the Micah move, you're right. I do got the Cowboys at number 4. I'm right with you there. The run defense, I get why they brought in Kenny Clark. They wanted to replenish the run defense, but you could have signed Micah and maybe got a run stopper, defensive tackle there too. So I didn't understand the logic there. I feel like they were just in cap hell, and they had to cut ways with Micah. They signed Dak to a bad contract, and CeeDee's making a lot. So bad cap management there led to that trade. But I got the Cowboys at 4. Basically, they don't have a running back when Javonte Williams is your RB1 in that depth chart. I don't like that. They're going to be one-dimensional offensively, even though I like the George Pickens move. I think that's going to be fun with CeeDee. I just think it's too one-dimensional, and defenses are going to load up on that pass, and they're going to dare him to run the ball, beat him with the run. So that's why I have him 4. And we're talking about maybe a 1 or 2 game difference between the Cowboys and the Giants, but I got the Giants. So maybe they're both around that 7 to 9 win range, somewhere around they're maybe 6 to 8. But I got the Giants edging them out here. I love that defensive front. Adding Abdul Carter, I think he's going to probably win the defensive rookie of the year. I don't think he's going to get quite to 10 sacks, but he's going to come close to 10. I'm super high on him. So that was a great pick. And you're going to have some competent quarterback play. Maybe you'll see Jackson Dart towards the end of the year take over and see what he has. But Russell Wilson from Daniel Jones, I feel like is a little bit more competent quarterback play there. But yeah, I think there's going to be some growing pains with that offense a little bit. And then we'll see how they progress later on in the year with that schedule being tough to start. And I agree with you the rest. I was going back between the Commanders and the Eagles. I know there's been a different winner. I'm like, oh, maybe it's the Commanders this year. But I ended up flipping. I went Commanders too. And what worries me about them, they did get better. They got Tunsil. They got some experienced guys. They brought Debo in for the offense as well. So I like the weapons. I do like some of the moves they made. But the problem is they're the oldest team in the NFL now. If you look at it, I think they're like 28, 29. That's the oldest. So I'm worried about their health. Like, will Zach Ertz stay healthy? And will Tunsil stay healthy? Will Marshawn Lattimore be healthy? There's guys with your question on staying healthy there. They're a little bit older. So I have them number 2. Even though Jaden Daniels will do his thing. He's that guy. But he's the best quarterback in the division, in my opinion. But number 1, I got the Eagles. The offense is still intact from last year. You still got that offensive line is going to be relatively healthy. Dickerson maybe play week 1. We'll see. Maybe not. But even with that, the offensive line is still going to be good. We got probably the best receiver room in Eagles history. You brought in John Mechie. You have Jahan Dotson and Darius Cooper, who was an undrafted free agent. He flashed in preseason. He made the roster. So you could argue this is the best Eagles receiving room they had. They improved. The question becomes their defense, which is why I was debating that 1 and 2. You have Adoree Jackson, who's in line to start, opposite of Quinyon Mitchell on the outside. That's a little bit of a concern for me. And then the safety, you trade away Gardner Johnson, which I didn't like the move. And now you're going to have either the rookie Andrew McCuba there or Sidney Brown's going to start opposite of Reed Blankenship. So they got some question marks there. But like you said, they did. I like the John Campbell draft pick. I think they'll be fine. I think they could weather the storm. And though they play the Commanders towards the end of the year, week 16 and 18, that'll be fun. That could come down to the division. So it's going to be exciting, but I do have the Eagles 1 here.
Yeah. Finally going to get a repeat winner. About time.
Yeah. We'll see. And just to carry on with the North, this one was tough too. I had the Bears 4. I think they play pretty good. It's just that division is absolutely loaded. But it's make or break year for Caleb Williams, so I would say he has to show out. Number 3, I have the Vikings only because I think their roster Super Bowl ready, except for the quarterback. I just don't know with JJ McCarthy yet. I believe in KOC to get the best out of him. They have a great roster. It's just a question mark at the quarterback position. That's why I have them 3. And number 2, I have the Packers. With that move for Micah Parsons, they move into a top 5 team, in my opinion, with that. And we'll see. I like the Matthew Golden draft pick. I think he's going to help that offense. You still got Jaden Reed. You got Josh Jacobs, who balled out. We just need Jordan Love to be more consistent. Don't throw a lot of interceptions. Just play smart, clean football, and they could arguably win the division. But I got the Lions finishing first. Yes, you lose both coordinators, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson. They move on. So that'll be an adjustment at first. I could see maybe like when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, they lost both their coordinators. They fizzled out towards the end. They basically had a meltdown. It could happen with the Lions. I'm not saying it won't. I picked them to finish first here. I just think they have too much talent from Goff to Gibbs and Montgomery, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra. And you go in that defense, you get Hutchback, you get Jack Campbell, you get Terrion Arnold, Brian Barrett. You could go on. I just like the talent. I like the roster the best out of everyone. And Dan Campbell's going to get those boys fired up to play. I got them number 1 in the North.
Yeah. So for me, I have the Vikings at 4. I'm not a big believer in J.J. McCarthy right off the bat. Got to see what he could do. But I think Kevin O'Connell will, make him work in that system. So I have him there at 4. Bears at 3. I like the addition of Ben Johnson. I think he will make unlock Caleb Williams and his potential along with that offensive side of the ball. You still got DJ Moore. You still have Roma Dunze. And I think DeAndre Swift will have a big year as well. So I'm excited to see what the Bears can do on offense. So that's why I have them there at 3. Packers, I have them there at 2. I love the addition of Micah Parsons. And just like you said, we need Jordan Love to be consistent this year. He was dealing with some injuries last year. So hopefully this year he could stay healthy and be that guy. And then also use Josh Jacobs to be that lead back that he was last year. So I'm liking what the Packers are doing this offseason. And then number 1, I have the Lions as well. I think the Lions, they pretty much have the same roster top to bottom. They just lost some coaches. So they did lose Frank Ragnow, the center. So I think that's going to be a key loss on the offensive side of the ball. But other than that, I think the Lions, just having that continuity there with Dan Campbell and company, I think they will be, the best team in the division, and they've just been playing lights out past few years. So we'll see what happens without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, but I think the Lions, they'll be fine. I still think they'll finish first.
I like it. Let's move to AFC now. You want to go AFC South?
AFC? Yeah. So
you want to start us off?
Yeah, we'll start out with the AFC South. Last place. This one I was contemplating, but I have the Titans still in last place here. Cam Ward, I'm not too high on him. I think he'll be good, but I don't think he'll be like number 1 overall pick worthy good. So Titans, they didn't really do much, in the offseason other than adding Cam Ward. I can't even tell you another move that they did. So, but yeah, I think Callahan, he's a good coach. Calvin Ridley, he'll be, pivotal role in the offense. But other than that, their defense side of the ball, other than Jeffrey Simmons, like, I don't know. They're not the greatest of teams. So that's why I have them there in 4th. The Colts, I have them in 3rd. Daniel Jones starting is interesting, but I think honestly he is a better quarterback right now than Anthony Richardson. Do we see Anthony Richardson play this season? I think we do. Just a matter of when, because I don't think Daniel Jones will, be able to keep that starting job just because he's just not consistent at all. Turns the ball over too much and is just not the guy. So I have him there at 3. Jaguars at 2. I really like the addition of Liam Cohen. I think that will unlock that Jaguars offense. You add in Travis Hunter to that offense along with Brian Thomas. I think ETN will have a bounce back year and Trevor Lawrence as well. I think it all plays a role in why they hired Liam Cohen, and the Bucs offense, they looked great last year. So if he can bring that to Jacksonville, I think they'd finish in 2nd. And then number 1, I have the Texans. I'm a big believer still in C.J. Stroud. I know he had a downward year last year, but DeMeco Ryans, he's a great coach. And if they keep Nico Collins healthy, and we'll see how the offense plays without Joe Mixon, and we'll see how it plays with Nick Chubb. They also drafted a rookie as well that will also play a good part in that offense. But yeah, that defensive side of the ball, they're still one of the best in the league. So that's why I have them there at 1.
Yeah, we have the exact same list. Number 4, the Titans. I'm excited to see Cam Ward play, but nothing on that roster is noteworthy, really. I just think as a roster, they're worse than the Colts, who I have at number 3. It'd be interesting to see Daniel Jones and Tyler Warren. I think Tyler Warren's going to unlock the offense. I think they're going to really target him there. So that'd be cool to see, but I don't have him over the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 2. I'm excited to see if Travis Hunter, if they decide to play him a little bit, some snaps at corner. That's going to be a fun thing, the story to watch, what they do with him. But I agree with everything you say about Liam Cohen. That offense should be fun. Look at what he did with Baker and those receivers they had. I'm very high on what Brian Thomas could do year 2 and what Travis Hunter could do year 1. And I think with that, like you said, Trevor Lawrence could have a setback and kind of resurrect his career after a down year last year playing. And then number 1, the Texans. I'm still worried about their offensive line. They did trade Tunsil, so I'm worried about protecting Stroud, even though I still like him as a quarterback. It's just Nico Collins, really. You trade away. Diggs is gone. He left. Tank Dell's out. He got hurt in the playoff game. So I have the Texans number 1, but it's with caution there. Like you said, I like DeMeco Ryans as a coach, I think that's where the edge is, and I think the defense is going to like you said, play pretty well to keep them in ball games, while the offense is going to go through some growing pains and struggle because of what I said.
Yep.
So, and then just to transition over, we're going to AFC West now. This is interesting division. I got number 4. I got the Raiders. I like the Ashton Genty pick. Pete Carroll. I like the hire. Um, and I like what they did. I just think they're a step behind roster wise from the rest of the guys, the rest of the teams ahead of them. But I think they're under this John Spytek era, their new general manager. I think they're on the right track. It's just not their year. It's still rebuilding, retooling for them. And number 3, I got the Chargers. It'll be fun to see Omarion Hampton be the bell cow, take the snaps there at running back. Excited to see Justin Herbert year 2 with Jim Harbaugh. That's going to be fun to watch. I just don't have him number 2 or number 1. And number 2, I got the Broncos, one of the best defenses in football with Vance Joseph. I still believe in that. Got the best cover corner. I think the defense is going to be a force, which is why I like them a little bit better than Chargers. I like the Evan Ingram that you brought him in. He's going to be heavily featured in the Broncos there in that offense. I think Bo Nix is going to improve, and Cortland Sutton is going to be a really solid wide receiver 1 for him. And they're going to have a fun. They have RJ Harvey that they drafted in the backfield. It's going to be fun to see how Sean Payton utilizes the Broncos backfield. So I like them at number 2. And I got the Chiefs, who have run the AFC for many years now, still finishing at number 1. It's hard to pick against Mahomes and Andy Reid. And I still think the Spags defense is still in effect there. Xavier Worthy came on really strong towards the end. I'm excited to see what he does in year 2. So I got the Chiefs number 1.
Yeah, pretty much got the same thing here. So, yeah, number 4, got the Raiders. Excited to see what Pete Carroll can do. And Geno Smith and all the other additions that they had. So I just don't see him being better than the 3 teams above them. But, yeah, excited to see what they could do in the rebuild there. Number 3, I have the Chargers. I think Jim Harbaugh, he'll bounce back after, that crappy loss that they had in the playoffs. And Justin Herbert as well. They got Amarian Hampton. I like that pickup. You also bring back Keenan Allen, a guy that knows Justin Herbert, so familiar playmaker in that offensive side of the ball. And then number 2, I have the Broncos. I think that defense was really great last year. Another year, Bo Nix. Bo Nix was really good last year. He could have won Rookie of the Year, but Jada Daniels existed. But Bo Nix, I think, another year under the belt of Sean Payton. That's a Sean Payton guy. I think he will, play great again. So that's why I have the Broncos at 2. And, number 1, you cannot pick against the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though they lost the Super Bowl, they're still Patrick Mahomes, still Andy Reid, still got all the guys there. Chris Jones and company, the Spags defense. So, I have the Chiefs at 1.
I like it. Let's go with the AFC East now. I'll just run through it real quick, Steve. Number 4, I got the Jets. Justin Fields, their quarterback. I'm just not a big believer in that offense at all. I think they'll make the right strides. Just I don't see them being better than the other 3 teams. I got the Dolphins 3rd. Mike McDaniel will be on the hot seat. Tua's health is a concern. I'm just worried about like a meltdown happening, like where players don't want to play and no one wants to be there anymore. So I got the Dolphins at 3. I got the Patriots too. I think they find some strides with Mike Vrabel there. I got the number 2. I'll be excited to see Drake May's growth with Josh McDaniels and Trevion Henderson. I'm excited to see what he does in that offense with Diggs now. That'll be fun. But the Bills are going to run away with this division. They're the best team. Got arguably the best quarterback in Josh Allen. They added Joey Bosa to that defense. I think they easily win the AFC East.
Yeah, pretty much got the same thing here. Number 4, give me the Jets. I'm not a big believer in Justin Fields. We'll see what he could do with another, crack at the quarterback 1 spot. Aaron Glenn, I don't know how I feel about him as a head coach, and just the offensive side, Breece Hall, that offensive line just hasn't been good. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they prove me wrong, but I have them there at 4. Number 3, I do have the Dolphins as well. Tua needs to stay healthy. Tyreek Hill needs to get going, and Mike McDaniel, this could be his last year. So they have to put it together this year. We'll see what happens, but I have them there finishing at 3. Number 2, I have the Patriots as well. Mike Vrabel, I think he will change the culture there and be the guy that, brings the Patriots back to where they were with the dynasty and everything. I don't think it'll be this year, but I think, it's a great hire there. Drake May, I think he'll succeed under Mike Vrabel. So I have him there too. And number 1, like you said, this is the best team in the division, and it's kind of hard to, get the first place spot when you have the Buffalo Bills at 1. Josh Allen coming off a great year, MVP year. So I think they are the best team in the division, and they'll be trying to compete for the Lombardi Trophy and have to go through Mahomes and the Ravens and all that. So, I do have the Bills at 1.
I like it.
So who do we have to do next?
We just have the North. Yep, you got
the
it.
North. All right. So this was pretty easy for me as well to make this. Browns at 4. I'm just not a big believer in what they have for this year. Joe Flacco's QB1. When Joe Flacco's QB1 and he's starting out for you this, late in his career, it's not a good sign. We'll see what maybe Shador plays this year or Dylan Gabriel. I don't know, but I think Shador's bottom of the depth chart right now. So we'll see. I'm just not a big believer in this Browns offense. The defense is what's keeping them together here, but I have them finishing in 4th. Number 3 and 2 is hard for me, but I do have the Steelers at 3. I think Aaron Rodgers, I think he's a good quarterback still, but I don't think he's good enough to have him in 2nd place this year. I know they got DK Metcalf, and they also got the rookie running back, along with Jalen Warren there. So I don't know how I feel about the Steelers, and we'll see how they do with the Arthur Smith offense, but I'm just not a big believer in them this year. Number 2, I have the Bengals. The reason being Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow, he had a great year last year. We'll see what the defense does this year. That was what was holding them back. But I think the Bengals, they'll pick it up this year. They're not going to start out slow. I think they'll actually win some games here early, and that's what was keeping them from not making the playoffs last year. I think there's going to be a switch in them that they turn on, and they'll start out hot early in the season, and they'll finish 2nd. And then number 1, give me the Ravens, Lamar Jackson and company. They're one of the favorites right now in the AFC. That defense is loaded. Lamar is that, guy. He's QB1. He could win MVP again. So we'll see what happens, but they also have Derrick Henry as well, and he made that offense something special last year, and the whole offense pretty much ran through him and Lamar. So excited to see what it could do again, another year under their belt. So give me the Ravens at 1.
Yeah. So number 4, I got the Browns for the reasons you articulated. They just don't match up with anyone else in their division right now. And number 3, I actually have the Bengals, just because, and the Steelers are number 2. Why I had the Steelers is just because I think they're, as a team construction, they're more balanced. I like the defense. I think they have a strong defense. They got Ramsey now. They have Darius Slay with Joey Porter to really lock in and cover down the receivers they'll play, like the Bengals, like the Ravens, like the rest of the AFC. I liked the defense a little bit. I think Aaron Rodgers and Metcalf with Arthur Smith, you could keep them afloat enough. So that's why I have him, even though the Bengals offense will be electric. Chase Brown's going to do good things. Jamar's going to be Jamar. Burrow's going to be Burrow. Higgins going to be Higgins. And Mike Tomlin is hard for me to go against too. And I never, and they don't really miss the playoffs. They don't really have a losing season. So I went with the Steelers slightly over the Bengals. And then the number 1 clear cut is the Ravens. What I need to say are probably the best roster in football, in my opinion. They do have one. They just extended Kyle Hamilton. They're just well-rounded. It's got to be Lamar's year. Time to shine.
Yeah, I agree. I think, they're probably, the best roster in football, along with the Eagles there. So, that's our AFC predictions.
Let's do the seedings, man.
So I guess we'll start out with the NFC first, and then
NFC.
Go from there. So you want me to go 1 through 7, right?
Sure, let's do it.
1 through 7. I have your Philadelphia Eagles at 1. I think they're the best team right now, coming off the Super Bowl. I think they have a good chance to repeat the Super Bowl as well. So give me the Eagles. Number 2, I have the Rams. I think the Rams, it all depends on Matthew Stafford's health, obviously, but I think the Rams, I think they're probably one of the better rosters in the NFC, and I'm really liking the addition of Devontae Adams. So I think that will be a big play in why they're 2. Number 3, I have the Lions. The Lions, they're a great team. I think bringing everybody back. I know they lost their coordinators, but the Lions at 3, I think they'll have enough wins to, compete there. Number 4, I have the Bucks. I think the Bucks, they're good, but I don't think they're going to be better than the 3 teams above them. Number 5, I have the Packers. I think the Packers, with the addition of Micah Parsons, will finish there at 5. Commanders at 6. I really like the Commanders, and I think Jaden Daniels is that guy. So give me the Commanders at 6. And number 7 is the Falcons. I think the Falcons make a splash, and they enter as a wild card team, and they make some noise there. So that's why the Falcons at 7.
I like it. I think we are different here. I'll say that.
I like it.
Number 1, I'm very high on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got them finishing first.
Okay.
Weaker division. I think they could easily go 6-0. So I was factoring that. And I think they could just run the table and finish number 1. Doesn't mean I have them winning the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl. Just think they're going to be number 1. Then number 2, that's where I'm going to have the Eagles. One of the best rosters. I think they're going to be fine. I just think the Buccaneers got a little bit of a break of a schedule, but I got the Eagles at 2. Then I got the Lions at 3. Enough said with them. Number 4, I have the Rams. I wanted to put them higher, but I'm just worried about Stafford's back. If Stafford misses time or is done for the year with that back injury, then it's Jimmy G, and that scares me. So I pushed them. I pushed them down the board to number 4, and number 5, I got the Commanders. I think it's going to really come down to that last game. It could potentially between the Eagles and Commanders. I think they're both going to have solid records. I got them number 5. And then just behind them, I got the Packers. I think they're going to be the 6th seed. And then right behind that, at 7, I got the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay. Yeah, could easily happen. Yeah, I like it. I like that we're different for once. Last year, we were pretty much lockstep, so I like that. All right. AFC 1 through 7. Number 1, give me the Ravens. I think, the Ravens, like you said, have one of the best rosters in football. And Lamar and company, I think they'll be the best team this year. One of the best. Number 2, I still have the Chiefs. The Chiefs are number 2. I cannot go root against the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid and company, so give me them at 2. Number 3, I have the Bills, Josh Allen, pretty much. That's the reason why. Number 4, I have the Texans. And then number 5 through 7 was hard. I have the Broncos finishing at 5. And then I have the Chargers. And then I have the Bengals making a splash. Going to be in the playoffs this year. So if you need me to repeat that, I will.
Let me see here. I'll go with mine real quick. We can see where the differences are. At number 1, I got the Bills. I think they got such an easy schedule. I'm like, they got to finish number 1 in the seeding. So I got the Bills 1. I got the Ravens 2. Then I got the Kansas City Chiefs at 3. Then I got the Texans. And then from there, in the wild card, the final 3 spots, I got the Broncos, Chargers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers squeaking in at 7.
Okay. So, pretty much lockstep with Broncos, Chargers, and then still AFC North team. And then we flip-flopped
The 1 and 2?
Yeah, 1 and 2. Okay. And then you put the Chiefs at 3. Okay. Yeah. Could easily happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Super Bowl time?
Super Bowl time. I'll let you go first.
Oh, man. I've been going back and forth with this. Man, I love the Ravens roster. It's like I love the Ravens roster. I love Josh Allen. It's hard to pick against the Chiefs. And the NFC, I feel like anyone could come out of the NFC. And I feel like any one of those top 3s can come out of the AFC. The one I went with is I'm going with the Ravens over the Packers. That's mine. I think the Packers can run the table, get hot late. I think Micah's going to be a big difference maker. I think they're going to They could run the table here. They could win they could win the NFC North, which wouldn't surprise me. I think they'll come around strong and play good football towards the end of the year. But I'm going with the Ravens. I just like their roster. I think it's got to be Lamar's year to step it up, and I'm going to bet on them that they do. So give me the Ravens over the Packers in the Super Bowl.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, for me, I was going back and forth, with the AFC teams along with the NFC teams, but I have your Eagles making the Super Bowl yet again, and
Okay.
I think, with them having one of the loaded rosters in the NFL, pretty much bringing everybody back on offense. Defense is a little bit different, but you got Vic Fangio, and I think they will, be a great team in this league with that defense. So that's why I have the Eagles there. And then my AFC is different. I was thinking Ravens, but I'm going to change it up. I have the Buffalo Bills making the Super Bowl. I think it's Josh Allen's time with that. Yeah, like you said, they have an easy schedule. I think the Bills, all in all, Sean McDermott, it's his time to shine. And I think Josh Allen's due to win. So, did you say who you had? What you had the Ravens winning, right?
Yeah, I had the Ravens over the Packers.
Yeah. Okay. And then I have the Bills beating the Eagles in a matchup.
Man.
Goes back and forth, and it's going to be to the wire. But the Bills, Josh Allen and company, they find a way, and Josh Allen wins his first Super Bowl, and the Bills win their first Super Bowl. So that's how I have it going.
That's cool. I could definitely see that happening. I was also heavily debating Bills over the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's a fun one too.
I almost went with that. But
Yeah.
I just like the Ravens roster, and I'm going to take a shot with the Packers. See what they have. I want to see what Micah does for that defense with McKinney, your boy Xavier McKinney.
I love me some Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, and that offense with Matthew Golden, I want to see what he does for them. That's why I went Ravens over Packers. So I like this video, man. I like your picks. I think anything could happen. I was also debating the Niners squeaking in over the Vikings there. Was there any on the bubble for you? Like maybe this team squeaks in at 7, or was there anything you were heavily considering in like the
thinking
seeding?
The Patriots at 7.
At 7?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Vrabel. So
they'll have a pretty easy schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It depends, but yeah, I think maybe the Patriots could run the table and squeak in with Vrabel and company. And then for the NFC, what was I looking at? Thinking the Bears potentially too. The Bears with Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Potentially. We'll see.
Yeah, you had them 3. That was it.
I had them 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
That's bold. I would say that's pretty bold.
It's bold, yeah. But
yeah.
We did it. Season preview complete. And so we did the NFC predictions. We had our AFC, did our playoff seeding, and then we went all the way to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, drop a like, leave a comment. Do you guys agree with our takes, disagree? Who do you have going to the Super Bowl? Let us know down in the comment section down below. Justin, any final words before we end off today's video?
I'm just glad that football's back. We're here. Fun college football weekend. Stay tuned. We'll cover the season. We'll break everything down game by game. It's going to be a heck of a year. So make sure you subscribe. You hit that like button. You stay up to date. Follow us on the socials at BenchWire. Everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere. Any social media, we're on there.
Yep. Check us out. We got our link tree down below with all our socials there. But yeah, we'll catch you guys later. BenchWire.
Out.